Hello everyone. I just wanted to make a video for you. Haven't made one in a while, and I thought I would post one here. So, light language, topic of the millennium. Been having a lot of conversations lately about light language, and I actually use it like practically every day. So I offer what we're calling light language galleries twice a month here in Texas at two different locations. The Lightworkers Sanctuary in the Colony, Texas, and Enchanted Energy Haven in Waxahachie, Texas. And so what happens at those? Well, what happens at those? So what happens is always different. It depends on who shows up because, whenever people come together, their frequencies designates what is required. And most everything I do is channeled. Even this is channeled. And most of you know that you do the same thing. Most of you who are aligned and awake, you're channeling all the time. And what that means for me is that there's no ego involved. I am receiving information that I'm transmitting. And one of the things that I say quite often is I have rules. I make rules. And one of my rules is that I will only channel the highest light beings and the highest vibration and frequencies and information that I am capable of at any given time. And the interesting thing about that is that if you're doing the work, if you are if you're working on yourself, if you are working to keep your channels clear and clean and high, and if you are actively working to raise your vibration and expand yourself, then you shift you're going to shift anyway, but you shift higher every millisecond. And so in that way, every time that I channel, I'm channeling different energies, higher energies every time. So yay. Anyway, where was I going with that? So the light language galleries. Okay. And so at the light language galleries, I start with a group transmission. I call them transmissions. They're channelings, transmissions, because I call them transmissions because to me, light language is a frequency. It is light codes of information. It is high vibrational frequencies that align you. They will remove programs and beliefs that are no longer for your highest good and your highest purpose. Anything that is keeping you from being your highest purpose will be removed. Of course, law of free will, you have to agree to that. What's interesting is if people show up at the galleries, they most often have agreed. They most often have showed up with the intention of receiving. And so that's what happens. And so we start out with a group transmission, and then we do individual transmissions. And so depending on how many people are there, it could take 45 minutes or 2 hours. And depending on how long we spend with each person. And when I say we, the Light Language Gallery in the Colony is co-facilitated by one of my dearest sisters, Laura, and so there are two of us there. The one in Waxahachie I do by myself, but so anyway, so that's what happens at the Light Language Gallery. But when I say that they're always different, they're different because there are times when Source, and I only work with, like I said, the highest energies, God's Source. There are times when Source will have us do something in particular. For instance, this last Light Language Gallery, they had me ask people to focus on something that was prevalent for them, something that they were either afraid of, something they wanted to change, and we worked on that specifically in the group transmission. Sometimes they will have me use the drum to bring in the frequencies and the codes. Sometimes they'll have me use a rattle. So sometimes it is a verbal transmission. Sometimes there is a song transmission. Sometimes they have me make a crystal grid. Sometimes they don't. So that's what I mean by they're all different. And I really enjoy those group transmissions because of all the energies that are there. And sometimes we have people who return. Sometimes they show up for every gallery. And sometimes it's all new people. And it's always whoever needs to be there. And we come together. They bring their frequencies. They align their frequencies with ours. And it becomes one big frequency alignment. One big frequency party. And I always enjoy them. I enjoy hearing people's stories. I enjoy it when people share, the people who return. I enjoy it when they share how they've expanded and what's changed in their life for them. And one of the things that we've noticed is that a lot of times people will begin to speak light language for themselves after the gallery, and that is because they get activated. So whenever you are listening to light language, you are connecting with those frequencies. And one of the reasons is that they're not in the English language, or they're not in your home tongue, and so you can't judge them, you can't question them, you don't know what's coming through really. I mean, intuitively. Sometimes there is a heart knowing, but you don't really know. And so sometimes you get aligned with that information, those frequencies, if you are ready to do that. And so you begin to transmit it as well. And one of the things that I've always known about myself is that I'm an activator of energies. In the work that I do, I've always said, whether it was light language or hypnosis or emotrance or EFT, which I used to do, I still do for myself personally, but I no longer use it as a profession. And but one of the things is that I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? But I don't know. Doesn't matter, does it? Anyway, so we gather and we active. Oh, okay. So activating. I knew it would come back around. So I've always been able to activate people because one of the things that I've always been honored to do is to empower people. I would rather show people how to help themselves than to do it for them because I truly believe that it means more. The effect is greater when people do things for themselves rather than me do it. I mean, I can, do things for you and say, hey, you're fixed. I took care of it. I took care of it. You're all fixed. You can go home now. I don't believe in that. And it's not real. It's not real to people sometimes. I mean, there are people who have no self-confidence and they will only trust other people to fix them. Um, but I prefer to empower people. I prefer to give people tools and to guide and assist them in finding where their strengths are and how to activate them, thus being an activator. And so that's what I like to do, and that is what light language does. Light language activates. It activates codes and frequencies of a higher vibration to bring you into alignment with your true self, your true health, your true beingness, your true gifts, what you offer the world. And so I really enjoy doing it, and I've incorporated it into everything pretty much. I even dream light language. I have sessions in my sleep. I have sessions with people where I'm speaking light language and transmitting. So I had a visit today with one of my family, one of my community family, and she was saying that since her last session with me, that she has begun to speak light language, and so we had a little sharing about what light language is. She wasn't quite sure about what she was doing and where the information was coming from, and so we had a little sharing about that, and I shared with her that I have that rule that I will only channel the highest light. I don't allow anything else, and so I just trust because I trust in God, Creator, Source, the universe, and so I just trust that I am only channeling high vibrational energies, and so I never question it. Um, and so hopefully that helped her. Um, so that was a good visit. I love those visits. I love talking to people specifically about expansion, specifically about light language and about what people's gifts are and how they can feel more confident in what they do and who they are. And that's what I love doing. So I just wanted to pop in here and say hello to everyone and to offer you some light language if you're willing to accept it. So if you're willing to accept it, just sit back and relax, and I will ask Source if they have a blessing for you, a channeling for you. Tamame e no koe be aristo. Tere he a to koe mi anani tiri be arara airo. Me ashtoro he a mi e kai and in aidi eat. Parere e toro e be karara oisto. Ne ha mama anani iki e to oi makast. Pelere ate e o hoi ma anani e oka. Kerera aia a momo eke ini bi each. Pororoi di biarera aia tere inko oi ma a. Ne e mamo e nidike aistu. Merera baere e tu haiera aia a mamo ik ai ninit. Perera aia atotoi di bikarere e o mo hai no no ok. Shara maha anani e tu Perera aia ke e pi i ko mbaba achere i pororoi ba. Na meme ehanan okebe erera isho berera raire ku ui mahana na I uma sturoro e apara e tiri iki e momoki e apa ke peara o sturoro e maati I ni a maha anini e ke kerere e ku ui mahana me e pipi I tutui ba sturore beara ranin e te arere e ke e moko oi ke I ku ui mahana na I pa Sto erera eana me iki eto uma ki ichi I dibia. So, if you would like to know more about light language, you could check out my website, galacticfrequenciesoflight.com. My just regular business website is patriciawalls.net, and I have incorporated light language, like I said, into everything. I paint drums, and I incorporate light language into those. I make ceremonial smudge fans, and the frequencies in there, but not the symbols. And then I make shamanic rattles, and the light language is incorporated in those. I don't have any right here to show you, but you can see them on my Etsy website. And so on my Etsy site, my Etsy page, I list the drums, the smudge fans, the rattles, and it's Earth Woman, WOMBYN, on Etsy, and I'll post a link here in this in the description of this YouTube. So anyway, I hope that you're all having a lovely day, and I will try to post more videos. Next time I'll get the drum, and I'll ask for some light language frequencies for you. And anyway, meanwhile, hope that you're having a lovely weekend. Let me know if you have any questions.